This farm was once a paradise of crops and livestock, where humans and nature lived in harmony. But then an uninvited guest appeared, the wild boar. At first, they were just harmless wanderers. But as their numbers increased, things started to change. We tried many different hunting methods, but they didn't work. In the past, we invested in building solid fences to keep the boars out, but the reality didn't turn out as expected. Some cunning animals still found a way to destroy them or squeeze through gaps that we didn't expect. That's why hunting has now become the most effective solution. The mountain in the distance was the lair of wild boars, the sworn enemy of us farmers. We couldn't sit still any longer. A large-scale raid was launched. In less than 20 minutes, the silhouettes of wild boars appeared. On the hillside, wild boars with shiny black fur were running through the trees, heading towards the valley. Immediately, the group got into position and deployed the attack plan. After the loud gunshots, we successfully brought back the first spoils. We didn't quickly track down some of the targets who had escaped. It took a long time when the wild boar rushed out of the tree canopy for us to have the chance to destroy it. After that victory, we started searching for new targets. Wild boars often choose dense, hard-to-reach areas to hide, so it was very difficult to find them. At the nearest location, we felt something unusual. We immediately loaded our guns, ready for any possible situation. Sure enough, when we got close to the bushes, a black shadow suddenly rushed out at a dizzying speed. We pulled the trigger without hesitation, and the wild boar was easily taken down. Not stopping there, we continued to move towards the cornfield. The fallen trees and the gnawed corn cobs showed that the pack of pigs had just left not long ago. With the support of the hunting dogs, it didn't take us long to find them. In a moment of intense pursuit, the wild boar rushed out of the cornfield, witnessed by all the hunters. Immediately, guns were pointed at it and gunshots rang out. How terrifying! The guns continued to move to another target. The boar ran in the opposite direction, but it was not so lucky. The hunters shot it. The boar, though wounded, still tried to run a little further. The hunter's friend completed the final step, successfully shooting it to death. After being fiercely pursued in the cornfield, the herds of wild boars ran away to the nearby hillside. They ran one after another at high speed, making it difficult for us to aim. We also quickly chased after them, determined not to let the wild boars escape. It was truly a very exhausting chase. The wild boars were extremely alert. They recognized our presence and quickly changed direction to run away. We also tried to fire a few rounds, but were not accurate enough, so the results were not as expected. One by one, the herds of wild boars left the field. There was a train track running near the cornfield, and we set up an ambush there. As expected, a herd of pigs ran towards this area. 3 extremely large pigs were running away. Perhaps they did not expect to be ambushed here. At the moment when the wild boar was being chased by a pack of dogs, a hunter in the group made an accurate shot, successfully taking down this giant wild boar. We moved to a nearby field. It didn't take long for the traces to quickly lead us to the hiding place of the pigs. Although it was still quite early, the group decided to pause today's hunting trip. Although we had chased the wild boars away from the cornfield, we knew that they would soon return here to feed. Therefore, we would need to return to rest, recharge, and prepare for the next hunting trips. Although measures such as hunting are used in many countries to control wild boar populations, their effectiveness is limited due to the species' rapid reproduction. In Italy, for example, although hunters kill around 295,000 animals each year, the wild boar population is still increasing by 150% annually, an alarming figure. To improve the effectiveness of control, we not only rely on hunting, but also combine trapping with this method. This combination optimizes the killing ability, targeting even the most cunning individuals in the herd, thereby creating a stronger impact in limiting the wild boar population explosion. As usual, the traps are set in the evening, and we will return to check them the next morning. Everything was going according to plan, until the surveillance system reported an unusual situation. A wild boar had fallen into the trap, but instead of accepting its fate, it frantically tried to escape. The camera recorded it struggling, climbing out of the trap before disappearing into the night. Without hesitation, the team immediately armed themselves, quickly approached the trap area, ready to track and kill it before it had a chance to recover. Since it was late at night, we had to use the thermal scope to search for the target. As soon as we arrived, we scanned the area, and a familiar figure immediately appeared before our eyes. It seemed to have gotten tired and was replenishing its energy. We cautiously approached the target. The wild boar was still unaware that it had been targeted. Choosing a suitable shooting angle, raising the gun, aiming straight at the target, and pulling the trigger, the wild boar collapsed heavily to the ground. The escaped target had been taken down. However, the story did not end there. This area was right near the edge of the forest, where wild boars often came to forage. After walking around, the scene before my eyes left me stunned. Wild boars were scattered everywhere, more in number than expected. In the darkness, they were completely unaware of our presence. This was an opportunity not to be missed. Immediately getting into position, when everything was ready, we opened fire simultaneously. After a hail of bullets, half of the wild boars were taken down, while the rest had already fled. After a hail of bullets, half of the wild boars had been taken down, while the rest had already fled. However, with the thermal scope in hand, no matter which direction the boars ran, we could easily track them. Prioritizing those that had separated from a herd, they became easy targets to take down without causing further commotion. Some of them panicked and ran towards the edge of the forest, but before they could disappear from sight, the accurate shots quickly ended their escape. There was no chance of escape. While tracking, we discovered a large herd of boars, moving in a herd and fleeing. Grasping their direction of movement, the group immediately accelerated and advanced to intercept them. Holding the gun firmly, when the herd of pigs appeared, immediately we opened fire at the same time. The first bullet was aimed straight at the leader of the wild boar, the one leading the herd. Then 1, 2, 3. One by one, the wild boars fell. After the rain of bullets, the battlefield was quieter, but there was still one survivor. A wild boar was bewildered, its bloodshot eyes staring at us, full of confusion, but also mixed with defiance. Without hesitation, I raised my gun, resolutely pulled the trigger, a perfect headshot that killed the wild boar in an instant. The sky gradually brightened. We began to move towards the farm after a night of intense pursuit. However, before we could relax, we discovered an unusual sign. A few cunning wild boars had sneaked inside, weaving among the herd of cows, taking advantage of the darkness to forage. The group immediately deployed their formation and approached carefully. Only about 50 meters away from the target, but the herd of pigs was still completely off guard, absorbed in digging without realizing the approaching danger. The atmosphere was more tense than ever. At this moment, every shot had to be absolutely accurate. A small mistake could cause the herd of cows to panic, causing uncontrollable chaos. The result was beyond expectations. In just a few seconds, the intruders were completely eliminated. The remaining pigs fled the farm in panic. After the intense battle, the dawn had just broken, dispelling the silence of the night. The resounding victory last night made the whole group excited, but at the same time, it also strengthened their determination to completely exterminate the wild boar herd to prevent future invasions. We speculated that the ones that had escaped must have retreated to the hills near the farm. Without hesitation, the whole group immediately moved, heading straight towards it. From the top of the mountain, through binoculars, we discovered the pigs lurking behind the trees. Quickly deploying tactics, we divided into small groups, silently ambushing in different positions. The gunshots echoed once more, ending all resistance. Each wild boar fell down on the spot. The wild boars in this area were not only huge, but also extremely cunning. However, no matter how agile they were, they had no chance of survival. Despite trying to run away, rushing at terrifying speed, gliding through each bush, looking for an escape route, the wild boar could not escape my bullets. It fell over and rolled down the slope. If we did not act promptly today, the consequences would be unpredictable. In recent years, the increase in the number of wild boars has become a serious problem for many farms. An adult wild boar can weigh from 80 to 150 kilograms, with a body length of up to 1.5 m, and their strength allows them to destroy fences, causing considerable damage to farmers. In particular, this herd of wild boars can destroy entire crops in just one night, or destroy livestock barns. The serious problem is that wild boars have the ability to reproduce very quickly. A female can give birth to 6 to 12 piglets per year. The overpopulation of this species has caused farmers and livestock keepers to face terrible losses.